Hi, and welcome back to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the go-to podcast for health seekers looking to harness the power of nature for health and healing. I am Jen. I'm a passionate health educator, whole food, plant-based culinary coach, and master herbalist. And I'm here with Dan, an exercise specialist and a wonderful master herbalist. Together, we dive into the world of natural healing, bringing you a wealth of knowledge and practical advice. We draw from both traditional wisdom and modern science with herbs and foods to help you achieve optimal health. And so today we are talking about it's 4th of July. For those of you watching on YouTube, you see us on 4th of July. The podcast it will be after 4th of July. But we have so many snacks and junk food on 4th of July. But those of us who eat whole food plant-based, we have options too. And are we choosing those that are good? Like a lot of times clients will come to me and they'll say, I have these gluten-free crackers and this dairy-free ice cream and whatever. And so we want to talk about that. Are these really health foods, or are these foods actually making you sick and could even be sicker, make you sicker than the non-healthy forms?
Well, this this might trigger a lot of people because every once in a while I get a client, and if he's in town or her, we'll do a grocery store. We'll go to the grocery store together, and we'll get to the freezer section with the vegan meals and things like that. And I'll say, okay, now these things here, these can be okay for a transition phase, but they're just junk food, you know? I mean,
Ah, yeah. That reminded me. So I used to teach in-person cooking classes. And I remember a client, she would come in, she came to every class, but she would get so excited. That was right at the beginning of, was it Beyond Meat? When Beyond Meat first came out, and she was like investing in Beyond Meat and buying Beyond Meat. And every time something new would come out, she'd be so excited and couldn't wait to share it with me. And I was like, I'm not in. I'm not in. I wasn't even going to try it. And so, as a matter of fact, I've had it twice at a restaurant where I couldn't find anything else that I could eat. Um, so yeah, so let's start there. Let's start with Beyond Meat, which we didn't even talk about before we started the show. But what are your thoughts about things like Beyond Meat?
well, when that company first started, I mean, it was horrendous. The ingredients, and they had a lot of fat. I mean, it still had a lot of saturated fat, which, you know, one reason I went vegan is to get rid of saturated fat. But now, I mean, they're still going, and now they have a new patty, and they're trying to make it healthier with less processed ingredients, and it's better. But there's one thing in that it's still in there. It's called what is it? Microcellulose, right? Yeah. And if I ever eat one, I think in the last few years, I think I've had maybe three Beyond Burgers,
Mhm.
and I cannot digest whatever is that microcellulose does not digest. I get bloated and I
Yeah, it's like a
burp.
brick. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I saw studies on Gregor's website where they compared people eating those to people eating real beef, and they were healthier. That their blood work was healthier than people eating the beef, but it still isn't an ideal food, because it's still processed.
Right. Yeah, it's
Because
not a whole
look,
food.
yeah, I mean, I if I really want a burger, I make them at home with beans and greens, and they're better. They taste better than the Beyond Burger.
Yeah,
But
so let's
I transitionally, when I work with new clients. Transitionally, well, okay, you can have that here and there if it leads to you becoming more whole food plant-based. Because look, I'm not perfect either. Every once in a while, I'll eat something like that.
that's
I
true.
don't
Let's
advise it every day. No, I don't.
no. And I used it, I used things like that. I never had that. Like I had it twice, like I said, at a restaurant, and I felt terrible afterwards. But number one, those are not whole foods. But number two, if it is going to help you transition, then yeah, use it to help you figure out what's going to work right for you. The same thing with the dairy cheeses. So I have some people that'll come to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm eating dairy free," and they're showing me all these different dairy free cheeses that they're eating. And so let's talk about that. What are your thoughts about the dairy free cheeses?
Well, Dairy-free cheeses are basically just oil if you look at the ingredients.
Oil and starch.
Yeah. I mean, okay, it's okay for maybe an occasional thing in transition, but I do think those will lead to heart disease. I'll be honest with you because it's oil.
Right.
And if
It's
you're trying to lose weight or get healthy, you don't need to be eating those.
right. And you can make your own at home. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
super quick and easy. Super quick and easy. You can use nuts, you can use seeds, you can use potatoes, you can use beans. There's so many different ways that you can make your own plant-based, right? Oil-free cheeses without those gums and the fillers.
And the homemade version tastes better. I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't found a vegan cheese that even tastes that good. I mean,
Yeah, and there are some products. It's funny, here I've never seen a clean enough cheese for me. But when I travel, I was in Austin recently and went into a Whole Foods. We don't have a Whole Foods here. And in the Whole Foods, they did have some cheeses that were really clean. And so I did like that. They had like a cashew cream cheese
yeah.
and stuff like that. And so let's
Yeah,
talk about
those
it.
are.
So those are delicious. Like the cashew cream cheese, which you can make at home or you can buy in some special stores. Is that healthy?
You're talking about the cleaner cashew cheeses at the store?
Yeah, is even if you made your own cashew cream cheese, is that a healthy food?
Okay, well, it is healthier, but you still don't want to overindulge because you have to look at your calories, you know what I mean? Because I was on a kick one time where I was trying to do a lower carb vegan diet, so I really upped my nut intake and I gained weight, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And cashews are higher in saturated fat too. And so there's some more saturated fat, very high in calories. When you think about it, if you blend up cashews, it takes a lot of cashews to make a good bit of cashew cream cheese. And so that is a lot of calories. And it does have minerals and it does have other ingredients that are healthy for you, but it's not going to be as healthy as eating a handful of cashews.
Yeah, I agree. And I've had people in the past that are having trouble losing weight, and I say, "Well, I'm eating healthy," but then when you look at their food program with them, you'll see they're overeating on nuts or maybe some of the vegan cheese that we're talking about. Those will keep weight on you, and they will make you gain weight. Just keep that in mind. A cashew cheese you make at home, a little bit goes a long way. You know.
Right, right. So one thing a lot of my clients tell me is I eat really healthy. I have my protein bar every afternoon.
Yeah. I don't know there's a healthier protein bar on the market.
I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one. Yeah. I mean, you can make one, right? But
Yeah.
I've never seen one that I could buy in a store that would I would say is healthy.
Yeah, they have a lot of chemicals and things like that. And I mean, there's one called Nugo. It's a little bit healthier, but it still has 6 grams of saturated fat in one little bar, and it's got
Wow.
sugar, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that you'd be better off making those at home. There's a lot of great recipes out there for making your own
Yeah,
at
it's
home.
easy to make at home. Right.
Yeah.
And same with granola. I've never seen a granola in the grocery store that doesn't have added sugars. And even if it's cane sugar, coconut sugar, that's still sugar. It's still sugar and it's not a whole food. And so you really want to pay attention. And another thing that manufacturers do, if you look, there'll be like three kinds of sugar. Like it'll say coconut sugar, maybe near the top, and then halfway down, it may say maple syrup. And then you look a little bit farther down, and then maybe it says dates or date syrup or tapioca syrup or something like that. So it's three types of sugar. And the reason why they do that is depending on what the source is, they don't have to put that as added sugar on the nutrient facts label. And if it was all one form of sugar, it would be the number one ingredient. And you'd pick it up and go, wait, this is all sugar. And you would know it's not a health food. So you do need to be really careful with granola. You can make your own granola without sugar as well.
Yeah, I go to the store a lot, and all the granola, I hardly ever touch it because it's not only sugar, it has all of them have some kind of oil, either coconut oil or sunflower oil. And people think coconut oil is healthy still. It's not.
Right.
It's just saturated fat. That's all it is.
Right. And coconut oil is stripped of all the nutrients that are in coconut. Coconut's a really, really healthy food, but you only want to eat a little bit. Very high in fiber, but coconut oil is stripped of the nutrients and you're left with what is it, 120 calories per tablespoon of fat.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
it.
yeah. Talk
Right.
about weight gain, or if you're trying to lose weight and you're eating coconut oil, you're gonna make it hard on yourself.
Yes. So something else that clients get really excited about, because in my world, I help people with autoimmune disease. And the, number one, we remove gluten. And number two, we remove dairy. And so I'll meet with a client after our first visit and they come back and they're so excited. I found gluten-free Oreos and gluten-free waffles and gluten-free crackers. You wouldn't believe I found these. They're all gluten-free.
And then they found something healthy, right?
Yeah, yeah, this is a healthy food. They're so excited they get to still have their waffles. And I have to say, I'm sorry, but that's not a healthy food. Oreo, any way it comes, is definitely not a healthy food. And if you're trying to reverse a disease, out of your kitchen. You cannot buy those. You cannot buy Oreos, waffles. You can make your own waffles. I make waffles out of almonds and tiger nuts, but not the store bought.
I'm
Right.
glad you brought that up because if somebody is sick,
Hmm.
autoimmune disease or whatever, a lot of people say everything in moderation. If you're sick though, those things are going to keep you sick.
Yes, moderation kills. Moderation kills. And what's moderation to me? What's the definition of that? Does that
Yeah.
mean I only eat it once a day? Does that mean I eat it once a week? Does that mean I eat it once a month? What is moderation? Is it a moderation a tablespoon? Is a moderation a cup? There's no definition there. And so no. If you are struggling with heart disease, autoimmune disease, cancer, those foods do not need to be in your house. You need to be completely whole food plant based. That means everything need to be able to see and understand what all those ingredients are. No guar gum, right?
Uh,
No
yeah,
guar
whatever
gum.
that is.
Yeah, no,
Whatever that is,
right.
.
Watch for all these fillers and things. And if you have autoimmune disease and we're watching gluten, then sometimes we need to be looking at other inflammatory type foods too. And a lot of those fillers and gums and things are made from corn. And unfortunately, a lot of people do react to corn. And so it's really, really reading your ingredients.
And unfortunately, most of your plant milks are so full of crap.
Yes, talk about fillers. And I have made the mistake so many times. My number one rule is read the ingredients, and I fail on that so often because I'll pick up the box thinking it's the same box I bought before. Actually, I don't do the grocery shopping, my husband does, but he'll do that. He'll grab it thinking because it looks exactly the same. There'll be one little word that's different on the label. And if it just says plain, like plain milk, I make my own milk 99% of the time. But sometimes if it's the holidays, we'll buy milk. But if it says plain, it most likely has sugar. So not only does it have fillers and gums, it has sugar. You have to look for the unsweetened. If you buy vanilla, it usually has sugar. And so you just have to be really careful if you buy it. There are some that when you flip them over, it'll be like we used to buy Eden soy and it was distilled water and organic soybeans. That was it.
Yeah.
Califia Farms, I love their brand. I don't know if on podcast can we say brand names. Anyway, if you look by the organic, it's nice and clean. If you buy the one that's not organic, it has lots of gum and fillers. And so you really want to really read the ingredients every time.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of some more of these vegan convenience foods that people.
Well, what if it's not even vegan? What about vitamin water? So they used to have, they might even still, when my kids had graduated from high school, there used to be a vitamin water machine in the cafeteria, and the kids were drinking this vitamin water all day.
Boy, that was some good marketing, wasn't it? Because everybody thought that was healthy. This is just water with added vitamins, but the vitamins are synthetic. And it was full of sugar and probably had food coloring because all of them have like a
A
different color.
color. Mm-hmm.
So it's just crap that they're trying to tell you is healthy.
Right. Right. And our body, like we think vitamins are good. And this has vitamins. I need more vitamins, right? But more is not necessarily good. And if it's synthetic, your body might not know what to do with it. Your body is might see this as a foreign object, something that I need to destroy or store until I can figure out how to handle it. And so you want to be really careful with taking anything with added vitamins to it because your body may not accept it at all. Get your vitamins and your minerals from your foods.
Yes. Or, that's what Christopher always tells us, it's inorganic. Inorganic material like synthetic, the body doesn't process them very well. That's why Christopher made the vital herbs, which is a herbal supplement that has nutrition in it. So you can do that, but I don't use that. I mean, mostly I just try to eat my greens every day and some beans and some fruit. I try to make sure to get everything. But that's the way, the food.
Yes, yeah, green juices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, have some green juices, some celery juice or any of your cruciferous vegetables if you can handle those in a juice. They're very spicy, but any of those vegetable juices are a great way to get minerals and herbs. Yeah, so we really need to be looking at the ingredients, making sure you're buying things, you know, everything that's in there. If you could make it at home, then it's going to be safe for you. It's not as processed. If you're bloated, if you're brain foggy, and you think you're eating clean, really go through your refrigerator. You know, pick up those boxes and bags, look in your pantry and say, you know what? Have I really read the ingredients on this? Because the front of the label is made for you to buy it. They can say anything on the front of the box. It's going to look healthy. It's going to sound healthy. They have experts that are paid lots and lots of money to make sure that you think this is exactly what you want. And so ignore that. I mean, you can go, oh, that looks interesting, but pick it up, turn it over, and read the ingredients.
Yes, yes, because if you don't read the ingredients, you may take something home and realize there's something in there that does not suit you at your current health level, like Jennifer was talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
people, they just don't take it seriously, like clients. Well, some clients have that attitude. Well, if it's that bad, would they really put it in our food? Like, yeah, they would.
Yes, they would if they can get away with it. Yeah, as we're seeing now, as food labels are changing now. And that made me
Yeah.
think, so I actually have a coconut water in my pantry that's been in there for, I don't know, I don't even know why I keep it, why I don't want to throw it away. Because it has sugar. I flipped it over and I have two, they looked exactly alike, but one of them had sugar in it. And so even coconut water, you know, you need to flip it over and read the ingredients. Anyway, do you have anything else you want to add about these healthy foods before we close?
No, just watch out, especially if you have health goals like weight loss or you're trying to improve your health. You really need to get rid of these foods and go to your single ingredient foods, your vegetables, your fruits, your whole grains, your beans,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yes. 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 Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please comment, let us know. Let us know what else you would like to hear. And if you don't agree with something we said, we want to hear about that as well. Please subscribe to our channel and share it with our friends. And if you would like to learn more about cleaning up your diet, cleaning out your pantry, and preparing healthy foods, I teach people in the Culinary Healing Circle. You can go to culinaryhealingcircle.com. If you would like to work with Dan, he is an exercise specialist who also works with herbs and specializes in heart disease. You can find him at danthenaturalman.com. So we'll see you next time on Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants.